Hey my loves, welcome to today's episode, which is all about focus and why what you focus on can lead to your success or your downfall. Welcome back to Growing with Kat. I'm your host Kat, and this podcast is all about helping you find ways to balance and unify your mind, body, and soul. I post these episodes every Tuesday, Thursday, and Friday, and in each episode, I dive into steps you can take to help you on whatever journey you are on. I cover topics such as wellness, the real that happens in business, raising your vibrations, how to create the life you desire, self-development, and much more topics. Now, in today's episode, we're going to be hitting different points such as why what you focus on matters, how to focus on the good without neglecting the bad, aka just finding that balance, also what I call yin and yang, how your focus can lead you to success or your downfall, questions to ask yourself when angry, and last but never least, steps you can personally take to have better control of what you focus on. So to start, why what you focus on matters. Let us say that today you didn't get the job you wanted, which really sucks. But let us say that because of that, your friend takes you out just to kind of get it off of your head, but all you can do is focus on the job you didn't get. Then that special moment you may never have with your friend again. Like seriously, you may not have that moment and that time with your friend again. We can't control everything, and personally, things that are not in my control can drive me crazy sometimes. So I understand, but you do have control of where your focus is. So you can't control everything, but you can control what you focus on. So focus on the amazing parts of your day. The world gives you what you need, not what you want, and tomorrow you can create that game plan. I remember when if one bad thing happened, it would ruin my whole freaking day. Like my mom, she called me because she was rightfully mad at something I did and had every right to get mad at me. But when I tell you that more than half of the things she said were one, not needed, two, like a stab to the freaking heart, it really hurt me and pissed me off. But I tried to change my focus and fix what was wrong and go on with my day, and to be honest, I had an amazing day even though that happened. I could have let that ruin my whole day, but I didn't because there is and was no reason for that. My second, how to focus on the good without neglecting the bad, aka just finding that balance, also what I like to call yin and yang. Nothing can work together perfectly without balance. You need a balance with everything in your life when it comes to your health, to your career, to your relationships. Anything requires balance. Like think of it like food. I'm really hungry right now actually, but think of it like food. If the spices are off or if there's too much overpowering, the food may not taste good. But when all the spices and all the flavor and everything's just balanced and the ratios are beautiful, then everything is great. The food is amazing. The food is bomb. Your life is never going to be filled with ponies and rainbows. There will be I almost said dad days. There will be bad days, but your life will never be filled with thunderstorms and tornadoes. There will be good days. So you need to know like, hey, there's gonna be bad and good, and it is what it is. Like you really can't do anything about it except figure out, like work on what you focus on. Those bad days can ruin your day and that can happen, but is it worth like ruining your whole day? Is it worth ruining your whole week? Is it worth ruining your whole month? Is it worth ruining yourself? There is a balance which I like to call yin and yang, which is perfect for this episode because even though there is a line between the good and the bad, it shows that there is bad in the good and good in the bad. The day my mom called me, I got pissed, but I chose to fix the problem when I had the time that day. And because I knew I was going to fix the problem, I had no reason to allow what she said affect me. I even told her how I felt, which also helped. I could have chosen to not fix and blamed her. Like, I could have chosen not to fix it and blame her for ruining my day. But sometimes we all need to know is, yes, some people say some messed up things sometimes, but you're in control of how you take things and how you let them affect you. Let us say the job example. You didn't get the job, so your friend takes you out. What is the harm in having fun with your friend, then regrouping tomorrow to figure out your next step in jobs? Neglecting your problems and being stuck in Wonderland means your problems are going to pile up till all you can see is your problems. But that does not mean that you can't just enjoy the day. Like, you didn't get the job. What can you do about it? You can sit here and mope around, or you can enjoy the time with your friend who's trying to make you feel better, boost yourself up, have a great night, end it amazingly, and wake up and be like, okay, what do I need to do? And that's just what you're gonna have to do. And that is why there needs to be a balance amongst the positive and negative. There's really balance in everything. Like, think about it. If it's too sunny, if it's too hot, then I think it's drought. Yeah, there's drought. It becomes like a desert. But then when it's too rainy, too thunderstorm, too windy, it's hurricanes, let's say, or flooding. So there needs to be that balance. Everything runs on a balance. We have a whole balance beam, the balance thing when you're setting furniture up. Everything has a balance, and so do we as humans. How your focus can lead you to success or your downfall. This is simple. If you focus on bad, you attract bad, and if you focus on good, you will attract good. Again, it is all how you balance the bad and the good. But if you have a negative and lack mindset because all you focus on is what you cannot do, then you really won't go far. Like, I seriously would tell myself, like, every single day at school, like, I couldn't do it, like, it was too hard, there was no point, and all this other stuff. And it's like, what was I really doing for myself there? I was doing nothing except dragging myself down. And guess what? There are gonna be many people, sadly, who want to see you dragged down, who feel better when you're in the same vibe as them, or like, okay, if you and your friend are in the same type of, let's say, living situation, life, y'all are struggling, right? Once you start getting money, right? Once you start making that money and not struggling no more, they can either turn their back on you or still be your friend. And that's when you really see how people really think of you. That shit's gonna, like, that changes. And people are gonna want you to adopt that lack mindset so you can stay in that lack. And you can't do that. You need to think of, how can I do this? The positivity, think of the abundance, because that is always flowing. Abundance is always flowing. Like, you got this. Like, let everyone else try and drag you down, but keep yourself up. Do not become your own hater, because that is when you lost. That is when you lost. Seriously. I had that negative lack mindset, like I said, and until I changed that, I wasn't going anywhere in my life, to be honest. I truly feel like right now, with the mindset and the happiness and just everything, like, I'm on a path to success. Like, I can sit here and say, like, I'm on a path to success, and I trust myself, and I'm so ready. And that is the mindset you need to have. That is why your focus can lead on your success or your downfall. If you focus on everything you can't do and all your problems and what are you really doing for yourself? Like, if your problems, if those bother you so much, then figure out ways to solve those problems. Don't just think, oh no, there's one problem, there's a second problem, there's a third problem, there's a fourth problem. All of this is filled with problems. I give up. You can't do that. You gotta be like, okay, one problem, fix it. Two problems. Trust me, when you start a business or start anything, all you're gonna see is problems. Because you're gonna be like, I don't know how to do this. I don't know what this is. What is that? Where's the growth? Where's this? How do you do this? It's gonna be filled with confusion and unknowingness, and you have to be okay with it and focus on what you're working for. Focus on the end of the tunnel, I guess you would say. Something that helps me is talking to myself and asking myself questions. So questions to ask yourself when angry. Now, like, have you ever gotten pissed? That's something you realize there was no need to be pissed about. Like, it ruined your whole day, and then like a couple days later you're just like, why did it? I have been pissed for days to weeks on end for no reason at all. So questions I ask myself when I'm angry is there any reason to be angry? Is this solvable, and can I solve this later? Is the problem I am angry at my problem or someone else's? What am I getting from being angry? How can I solve this? So, taking the example with my mom, my answers would be for these questions is, yes, I'm angry for what she said. Is there any reason to be angry? Yes, I have every reason to be angry at what she said and annoyed by it. Is this solvable, and can I solve this later? Yes, this is solvable. Yes, I can solve this later. This allowed me not to let it affect me with what I was doing because I was out and I couldn't fix it right away. And I just knew, okay, there's no point of letting it bother me. Let me just save it for later when I can fix it. Is the problem I'm angry at my problem or someone else's? The words in anger were theirs, and I do not need to match that same energy. At the end of the day, what pissed me off was how my mom what she said and how she talked to me more than the situation at hand. She had every right to bring it up, and she had every right to be angry, but she didn't really have the right to really say half of the stuff she said, to be honest. So I was angry at her words and what she said, but there was no need to fight her on that. It was, okay, I see that she's angry, I see that she's hurt, this is how she handles it. I need to handle this better for myself so that everyone can be happy, so that I can make my mom happy and still be happy myself and make everyone else happy. And that's what I did. What am I getting from being angry? I answered nothing. I'm getting nothing from being angry except hating what I had to do, and there was no reason to hate what I had to do. Does that make sense? Counting on the situation, she was completely right. Seriously, she was completely right at the end of the day. So I had nothing to be angry about, and I wasn't getting anything from being angry. So I was pissed off for that 1 second, and I chose to not be pissed off no more. How can I solve this? I can solve this by actually taking care of the problem. So sometimes the problem isn't even yours to deal with. Like on I don't want to curse so much, but like on some real sometimes there's going to be problems that aren't yours and are someone else's. That's why I kind of did it in the order I did it, because I don't want to sit here and say that I have no right to be angry, but I also know, like, when I say what am I getting out of this, like, it will make me sit here and think, like, what am I getting out of this? Or if it's not even my problem, it's like, why am I even allowing this to make me mad? And can I solve this? Sometimes you can't solve things. Sometimes you can't. Like, yeah, bit and bit you can work to getting something solved, but that doesn't mean you can solve it yourself, if that makes sense. Like, when all the protests were happening, it pissed me off seeing what was happening to those people, but I knew for a fact that I could only do personally so much, if that makes sense. So, like, if I were to answer how can I solve this, it's like reposting, letting people know, showing people, signing petitions. Sometimes that's all you can do, and that is you doing your best, and that is perfectly fine. We do need to understand that sometimes people can get into their emotions and say things that are, one, not needed, and two, they don't mean it. it happens. Not everyone is in tune with certain things that other people are in tune in. We all have our good and bads. We all have our strengths and weaknesses. And you just need to understand that. And you can't control them, but you can control yourself. You can't control anyone else except yourself. I feel that arguments can last longer because both people stay in their emotions and say things they don't even mean and have nothing to do with the problem. So sometimes you have to be that bigger person and stop what is going on, figure out the real root of the problem, if it is your problem to solve, and solve it. If it is not your problem, of course you can help, but don't lose sleep over it. And don't ruin your day over it. If it's not yours, it's not yours. You can only do so much. It will be hard. To be honest, it will be hard, but with focus and understanding, it can be accomplished. Steps you can personally take to have better control of what you focus on. To start it off, meditating helps you focus on what matters. There came points in my life where I personally felt no control over my emotions, and that was bad. So meditating helps me feel, understand, and focus. Sometimes my anxiety and depression can get real bad, or sometimes my focus is off because sometimes all I can focus on is the bad. That happens. And having a meditating app and using the features, it really helps. I personally use Headspace. I'm starting to use it for 5 minutes a day, and my goal is to grow from 5 to 10 and so on. But it is really amazing, the app. It has a lot of categories, so it helps you with things like anger, acceptance, fear, sadness, loss, and much more. You can also search up amazing videos on YouTube, which can also help you. It is your cup of tea. Figure out what you like in your tea. Asking yourself those types of questions when you're angry and sad is my second point. When I used to get angry, like I said, I would stay angry, but asking yourself your own or the questions I just stated can help you look at the situation not with your emotions. It helps you look at it through like a problem solving view. So like today I was really sad for reasons, and I took a shower and I was crying, and I had to sit here and ask myself those types of questions like, is this really worth crying about? And it was like, yes, it's worth crying about, but can I solve this more than what I solved it? Can I fix this more than what I tried? Can I let this person know how this affected me more than I did? And it was like, no, I did everything in my ability, so it's all up to them. Like the dice is in their hands. They have to figure it out. Whatever they choose, whatever they roll, whatever card they put down, that shows me what they want from me and how this relationship is going to keep going. Like it's all, sometimes you did everything you can and it's all in the hands of the other person, and sometimes it's going to be a long waiting game and you just want it finished and done and you want to know now, and that's not going to happen all the time. Get what you feel off your chest. That is my third point. You can personally talk to a friend who is there to listen. I personally do audio files. You can journal, or like I personally put it in my notes as well, to look back on the situation and really think, okay, can I learn anything from this? But whatever you do, just get it off of your chest. Figure out the problem, how you feel about the problem, the solution, and that should be the end to the problem. Don't stay on stuff that didn't work out from years ago, especially if you never learned anything and you're beating yourself over it. You don't want to stay stuck being like, oh, I didn't do this, oh, I didn't do that from like 4 years ago. You can't change that. You can't. It already happened. All you can really do is learn from it. If there's nothing to learn from it, let it go. Like seriously, there's nothing. That's all I have. There's nothing else you can do with that. You just gotta let it go. I personally, how I let things go is I write it on a piece of paper, put my intention on it, and I burn that. light that up and I burn it and I watch it. I watch it leave. It's like I watch myself forget it, if that makes sense. So, to wrap it all up, I hope you enjoyed this episode all about focus. I'm so grateful for you listening to this episode and to future episodes. Stay tuned for the next episodes because this month is all about setting yourself up this month for amazing 2021. Remember that the 2021 workbook will only be free until January 31st. Also, make sure you rate, review, and share this podcast if you love my energy and if I helped you in any way, shape, or form. Always remember, you got this, you're amazing, and I cannot wait to see you on Thursday in the next episode. See you soon, my loves.